Hello and welcome back to the National Championship of the Ascent, the show where we highlight some of Counter-Strike's up-and-coming stars as they battle it out on ESEA's Rank G leaderboard. And after a full season, Jamerson, we finally have crowned ourselves some stars atop the pinnacle. They have climbed, they have made the ascent, going all the way up to Rank S. I'm in Verum, that's Jamerson, and I have to say, it's been one crazy season.
We've got a great show today because, we're starting off the new year, and it's a new chapter in these two players' careers, So we're turning the page, and now we're moving forward, and we've got a double header to mark that occasion. It's fantastic.
Oh yeah, because not only is the #1 player on Rank G advancing, the #2 player is as well. And if you've been following along week after week, the #2 player may actually surprise you, as there was a bit of an upset there right at the end. And of course, it's a big deal advancing up to Rank S because not only do you have access to maybe a little bit more money at hand.
Daily payout.
Oh, yeah.
Daily payout.
Daily! You also have access to some of the top Counter-Strike talent in the region. And I have to say, the ability to play with pros every single day, day in and day out, the amount of insights you're able to glean, just the practice that you get from that, not to mention the connections, the fact that a lot of these pros are streaming. You're getting your name out there in a way that you can't do any other way.
It's a different caliber of skill, a different caliber of exposure now. A lot of these players, they're playing in the MDL, they're playing in the pro level. And so getting that kind of exposure, being able to put your name out in front of them, being able to display your skill for them. That's how you get noticed. That's how you get on a team.
Oh yeah, and somebody who's definitely being noticed. It's our #1 player. We saw him in week #1 here on the Ascent. It is 6Z. 303 games played this season with a 60.7% win rate.
60.7, now that's about the magic number that you want, because you have to remember, in Rank G, there's diminishing returns for every victory you get. And so, a 60.7, that keeps you afloat and that helps you climb, so that is very important. But the rest of his numbers are just as impressive.
Oh, absolutely. That 1.1 KD, meaning he is getting more kills than he's dying. Well, that's a given. But the fact that he's able to get at least a kill run, that's really darn impressive as well. That's what he's averaging there with an 87 ADR as well, doing solid damage. That is some of the top percentile here in Rank G. Really impressive. And the fact that he's able to convert 19% of his kills into multi-kills, 14% on 2Ks, 5% on 3Ks, these are impressive stats.
And he is an impressive player. And not only is he impressive, he's very smart. We got to talk to him during week 1 with our interview. And, he approached this very methodically. He's a smart player. And so moving up to Rank S, he's going to be able to learn these lessons because he already has that mindset, which is what I love about this guy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's a young guy. He's 18 years old, but he's able to come in and learn and appreciate that he still has something to learn. The fact that he's able to play smart, play aggressive, but then also have these moments where he just flips the switch, he goes in, he plays aggressive. We're going to see it throughout the course of these clips here, but the fact that he has those times where he plays conservative and plays smart, and sometimes he realizes he's just got to frag.
Yeah, and he does. He definitely does frag, which you'll see, because we have a plethora of highlights for him.
Well, let's get into clip #1 here, actually, which I think is a perfect representation of how he plays the game.
Again, very smart, very strategic, and he just knows how to trade out well. In this first play, he's at the bottom of ramp. Oh, look at that spray. His spray control is one of the most impressive things, I would say.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the way to start things off. As we go in here as well, he's pushing on through, able to just clean up kills left and right.
These Mirage plays again, just controlling sites by himself, especially here on the A site, as the T side.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is truly a highlight reel for him here as he's going on through getting frag after frag. We're gonna see a multitude of games here. The fact that he's able to do this so consistently, and we saw multi-kills. This is what I'm saying, 20% of the time he is able to convert on these multi-kills.
And smart pushes also. That A-ramp push, getting that triple kill, ending it off, ending it around with the 4K. Very smart, and that's why we're seeing his conversion numbers are so high, especially here in Rank G.
Oh yeah, that 1.1 KD looking oh so solid. We're able to see them just continuing on here. And again, this is truly the highlight reel. We're going to see a lot of crazy plays. Not only the fact that he's able to control, watch the spray control. That's one of the things that I think really separates out these truly top tier players.
You have to know them. You just absolutely have to know them. And that's why he's getting these great headshots, great kills, and these numbers, again, we talked about it. He had a 5%, 5% of his rounds where he ends up with a 3K, at least.
Yeah, at least. But you know what? Let's take a second back. Let's just watch the rest of these play out right now. Let's turn up the music and let's just watch this guy frag. Well, I have to say, when it's the skill just on display right there is so fun to watch because, again, he's so consistent no matter what gun you put in his hand. Doesn't matter where his team is on the board. If they're behind, if they're ahead, he keeps calm under pressure. He constantly delivers on key rounds.
I mean, a highlight reel is supposed to speak for itself and really does speak volumes for 6C. We got to see great spray control, and he knows how to play his angles really smartly. This is a cerebral player amongst the ranked G players. Well, not amongst the ranked G anymore.
Oh, yes, among rank S now. He has officially moved on up. He's playing with the big boys. Let's take a look at our next clip here because I love the fact that you talk about angles. That is something that I feel he controls here, and you really see it on this particular clip.
Yeah, it's 8v4. His team's already in the lead, but this round doesn't start off so well for him. You can already see it here. They're making their way onto the point, but they've lost 3 members doing so, only trading away with 1.
Yeah, they're pushing here onto the site. They need to secure this right now. He's using those audio cues. He's found. He got the first kill over there as well. And he stays alive, running out of ammo right here. Cost the CT dearly.
Yeah, doesn't overpeak things. He uses a utility well. And this is one of the things we talked to him about his utility usage and how methodical he is in it.
Yeah, he checks all his angles. He's not afraid to pre-fire when he thinks it's necessary. They get the plant here as well. And finally, a 1v1 situation. I love the way he uses information here. He only needs to see you for not even a second, and you can just be gone.
Yeah, bombs down, and he's just playing it. He's got the quad position here, so he's fairly certain that no one's really pushing from truck side. So he's holding this angle over at Fork, but it's the man on red box. All he hears is his footstep and then his head peek out, and he got it.
The flick, just right on over, taken to the face right there at the end. Really solid, playing the objective, getting those kills. Maybe a little bit of luck to start things off.
Just a little bit.
But you know what? It's the ability to convert on the situations when your opponents make mistakes. That is a huge part of how this play works out here. And we saw it so masterfully done there. But Jamerson, we have more clips to talk about. Let's get into our strategy highlight here because pace has been pretty fast so far, but let's slow things down a little bit.
This one is going to be taking place on Mirage, and I just like, again, he does have this kind of very aggressive style. We see him often on Mirage push a ramp on the CT side, but catching that opponent out on Palace is so crucial as he's making now the rotation over to the B bomb site. Yeah,
he's using the information his teammates are giving him here to the fullest effect. The fact that he's able to utilize these callouts in this play. We know where the enemies are, and he has a pretty good idea of it too. Watch how he plays this out. He utilizes his utility perfectly.
Yeah, he's taking this slowly again. The bomb was just planted. He's not rushing things quite yet. He swaps over to the AWP and spots out the man on site. He's going to try and smoke his way out, but oh, that's so quick. Zach going for that peek. Now it's a 1v1. It's a 1v1 here.
It is, and look at the mind games to this right now. His opponent, he knows, everybody knows where everybody is in this situation. Watch how he plays this, getting right in close, and the patience to hold it off right there. It would have been so easy to just shoot the second that you see your opponent, but he holds it there and he gets the kill perfectly.
The devil's into details there, and you can tell why he's such a smart player and that he is such a smart player, right? He sees the guy going for the jiggle peeks, going for the shoulder peek, trying to bait him out, but he doesn't see anything like a rifle, like the end of a rifle. Right, he doesn't see the barrel, and so he knows that he's just being baited, and he takes his time. He's not actually in a duel. The guy's just trying to bait him. He's so smart.
And watch this. He's going for the defuse, but he knows he has the kit right now. He has all the time in the world to play with, and he could finish it off. But style points might as well get the kill right there, and he does so. Let's watch this again from his opponent's angles, because we see this here. One missed shot from Zach is all it takes to spell disaster.
Yeah, that shoulder peek, it really worked out for 6C. He didn't get tagged at all. He's still at 100 HP here while he takes on Clums. Clums, again, doesn't peek with the AWP. He just tries to bait out a shot, but he gets punished for it. And that's such a crucial round. Right, you're going into basically the final end of the round, final end of the half there. They were at 9-4. They're going to get 10-4, and ostensibly breaking the economy of the T side. They should end up with an 11-4 half, and that sets you up for success as you swap over.
Oh yeah, puts you in such a great position to advance and win that game there. And of course, with over 300 games played and a 60% win rate, clearly he is converting and really following through, winning those games.
Yeah, and again, that is the magic number. You want around a 66% win rate around there. Depends on how you perform in the first, 10 games of the season. But from there on, if you maintain around 66%, you should at least maintain or climb.
Oh, yeah. So let's take a look now at a round from start to finish, really dive into the perspective of 6E right now and see exactly what one of these rounds is going to look like. We're starting off here, round 1, the pistol round, and he plays it perfectly.
Yeah, and the pistol round is really important at this point. Everyone just armors up, and they don't invest anything else. So it's going to be pure pistols, USPs versus Glocks coming out from each side. Take a look. We have a regular formation coming out from the CT side where they're spread up between the sites. And, of course, one man over here on Connector. And 6Z with that accuracy. 2 shots, 1 headshot. He takes out the man on Palace and checks A-ramp to see if that is where the push is coming from, but it's not. So he makes a quick rotation now over to B.
I love this. He's getting the calls from his teammates that this has been a full push through apps. The rest of the opponents are pushing on through right now. And what should have been a great position for his teammates quickly starts to unravel here as the T's get set up in position. And now this is a 1v2.
Yeah, the man over at Box was able to just punish the people jumping out from market window. And again, it's confidence in your aim. It's confidence in your USP game because he's connecting with these shots. He's only bursting 1, 2 at a time. And he's getting the headshots and he clutches out the round. A crucial round, of course, the first round, the pistol round for his team.
Oh yeah, that's setting up the pace for the entire game. That's building momentum. There's no panic spam going on here. He just puts the crosshair on the face, pulls the trigger, easy peasy, gets it done. Let's take a look at our next round because I think this last one here really exemplifies a lot of his play. It's the idea of the patience combined with the ability to go aggressive.
Explosivity is important here, but if we take a look at the scoreline, it's 5-2. As the CTs on the opposite side have forced up. They've cobbled together a buy, right? There's an AK with an M4, UMPs, and an AWP. So if they can win this round, the T's really set the CT back.
This is where you crush the economy of your opponents. This is where you stop them dead in their tracks. You put them back for round after round. We're seeing the push here through on him. Now, the rest of the team is pulling back a little bit. He's going to sit here with the AWP. He's going to just relax and keep the opponents at bay. And he's actually keeping so many of his opponents busy while his teammates are mounting the push on the other side.
Yeah, he's just spamming these regular angles with the AWP. He just knows these. He's played this position plenty of times. He's not connecting with any of it, but the presence, the simple presence of being here at Banana with that op makes the CTs kind of wonder, are they going to commit to this push? Do we stick around? That's why you still have 2 members over there, finally a third going over from Racetrack, moving in to Archway.
But now look at how long these rotations are taking. I mean, it is a huge advantage right now as the push is going through. There's the first connection, and here goes the aggressive flank, giving the bomb off to a teammate just in case he dies. He doesn't want to put it in a bad position. He finds the flank, 1 kill, and he finds another.
And that's all just set up from that Banana play early on. These late rotations coming in allows him to have these timings. And take a look at that now. It's a 4v1, and they just need to finish off the man rotating in from B, who's going to just try and go for it because, well, he's only got a UMP in play. But this is such a great way to close out the round.
Absolutely. You saw there the perfect setup to start things off and the aggressive flank. There was the smoke going on through there. Of course, he gets the headshot to round things out. It is a highlight clip after all. But he started things off there. The smoke was down. He wasn't quite sure how many opponents that he actually kept back in that situation. So when he decided to make that flank, we knew it wasn't super risky for him, but he didn't know that. He made that play regardless. He passed off the bomb to a teammate and said, here, you hold on to this. I have to go kill people.
I mean, controlling the Archway side with the AWP, it's a little bit scary. If I were in that situation, I'd want an AK. I'd want an M4 instead, but he takes the op, and he just makes it work for himself.
Oh, yeah. Makes it work at close range. His teammates were there to bail him out when things got maybe a little bit hairy, but all in all, he played things out beautifully. I think that really sums up his play. It's consistency. It's the ability to work with whatever gun you put in his hands. It's the fact that he's able to play patient, but also get aggressive when he needs to. He has all these baseline skills now going into Rank S. I cannot wait to see how much he improves.
Yeah, again, Rank S, that's where you get to learn from a lot of these pro players that do have the scrim hours under their belts, right? Where things are still a little bit mucky, right? Learning what the support position is, what the rifler, what the entry position is supposed to do. Those aren't completely set in stone, but at least he has more of a general idea now that he can draw upon their experiences and learn from that. And this is a guy who is sort of a jack of all trades, who is a very utility player that can play all those roles pretty well, but now he's got the experience behind it. He can learn from them.
Yeah, maybe look, now's the time to look to start specializing, really defining that identity here. And of course, it's the exposure. It's the idea that if you want to play on a pro team, this is one of the best ways that you can get discovered. Which is one of the reasons that we're doing this show. So congratulations to him, ending the season in first place and advancing on up to Rank S. But we're not done. We got to highlight our second place player as well. We're going to hop onto a short break. We'll come back right after this. Welcome back to the Ascent. I'm Bear. That's Jamerson. And we had a chance to talk about our number one player. He was at the head of the leaderboards, on and off throughout the course of the season. He was pretty consistently up there near the top. But our second player, who advanced all the way up to rank S, came as, I want to say, a little bit of a surprise if you've been following the leaderboards there. Somebody who pulled ahead in the last week and went absolutely clutch at the end. Introduce our next player.
I mean, just about. Our next player is going to be Slash. And the thing is, at the last show that we did, 2018, it was what, the 22nd, 21st of December?
Yes.
We figured that, like, Swifty had this on lock. But the holidays, they're a magical time. And it was a magical run for Slash here. Take a look at a 69.9% win rate here in rank G.
Oh, yes, that is the full season stats. He played he didn't even play 200 games, but that's 69.9, basically winning 7 out of every 10 games that he played. Meant that he was able to just go absolutely off, playing 40 games in his last week alone. I did some basic math. That's averaging like 3 to 4 hours, probably on average, of Counter-Strike a day, putting in that grind at the end, overtaking Swifty there to secure that second place spot with a 1.2 KD, the highest in our top 16. He went off.
Yeah, his ADR not quite as high as 6Z had beforehand, but 82, that's still very respectable. That is a lot of damage coming out every single round. And then 37% headshot percentage, that's great. A third of his kills coming from headshots.
Oh yeah, and I've been since informed since our last show of 2018 that I had been misinformed on their headshot percentage. It's not 30% of every bullet you shoot, it's 37% of your kills, which makes a whole lot more sense. For a second here, I thought all our rank G players were gods. This makes a lot.
Pretty good.
They're
still pretty good.
They're still pretty good.
Demigods?
Demigods, yes. Well, I guess they've been advanced to rank S now, so they're basically like, crap, there's no middle ground between Demigod and God, is there? That's fine. You get the idea. Doing pretty darn well. The 2K and 3K averages pretty similar to that number one position. But really, let's talk about this win rate. Let's talk about what a 69.9% win rate means.
Again, the magic number is about 66%. That's where you want to be just to maintain. So to be above it, that means you are going to be climbing. You're going to be ascending. And that's what he did. He got from third place position to second when there was a pretty sizable difference in points between him and Swifty.
Yeah.
So to be able to make up that difference and get above him, that is incredible, especially in that last week.
Oh yeah, those last 2 weeks were so important. We actually went back and we reviewed some of the numbers for Swifty. He just wasn't quite able to pull off the wins like he was before, playing like a 40 and 37% win rates, but both those weeks respectively, but a 60% win rate in that final week for Slash there, able to barely claw it out and overtake there. Those last few weeks made all the difference, and it just goes to show it's not over until it's over. If you had maybe a bit of a rough start to the season, you're playing in rank G in this current season, don't count yourself out, because just goes to show, Slash was doing great. He was consistently sitting in the top 16, but that final push towards the end when it mattered was so impressive.
And most importantly, especially if you want to go pro, is consistency. And consistency is the key there. With a 70% win rate, yeah, I'd imagine you're playing pretty darn consistent. And that's the difference, right? While, of course, Swifty, he was touting about a 60%, maybe
really
55 throughout the rest of the season. Those last 2 seasons, they just drop you down, and that's where you lose a lot of points, and a lot of things just worked out so well for Slash to be able to move on, now going over to rank S.
Oh, yeah. So let's take a look at our first clip here, which was, again, I feel like a really good representation of how he played throughout the course of the season. Now, keep in mind, we see a lot of players who play super aggressive, and Slash can do that for sure. But the way he plays out this round, pulling back, constantly repositioning, constantly finding new angles, catching his opponents off guard.
Yeah, this is so great. Every time he trades away or he gets an elimination, he just falls back, right? He gets the guy that was on site, gets the guy pushing through construction, waits out this angle and finds a 3K, and then re-maneuvers himself again to change his angle, waiting out for his team to rotate onto the site.
So not only are his teammates providing him information, giving him angles, but he is repositioning every single time. Look at this! Peeking right on through up from heaven and able to get that final kill on the site. You had to push for it, but he says no. I love it. Every single time a call-out could be useful to a teammate, it's sadly not, because he's repositioning. Guerrilla warfare, I think, is one of the best ways to say it. His
really
teammates
is.
were collapsing at the perfect moment. The way they played that out was flawless. And you said it before, a lot of players, they like to play aggressive, they like to go forward. But sometimes you talk about the discipline of knowing just when to pull back and I feel like we saw it there.
It's very important, especially there on overpass. If you're going to be the anchor for your team holding down the B bomb site, you need to play for the time for your team to rotate. Because who knows what their position is? Maybe they're pushing like a connector, or maybe they're pushing over by like party, right? You need to buy a lot of time for your team to be able to get there. And so being able to play that kind of style where you're a bit more patient, where you play for your team instead of for the highlight reels, it still nets you the highlight reel.
Oh, yeah. Well, speaking of highlight reels, we have one for you right now. All kills, all the time. Let's see it. What a way to end the highlight reel right there with the team kill going in.
Sometimes, you know, to get ahead, you gotta shoot your teammate in the back. But hey, he got ahead. He's the second ranked player in ranked. He's moving on up. He got ahead.
Yeah, he got it there. The hedge, yes, he did. Right at the very end. Those shots so consistent across the board. That's how you set it up. And one of the things that particularly impressed me, the spray transfers were so clean.
Again, that's just kind of a prerequisite, right? If you want to play in ranked G and you want to, of course, be in the top of the leaderboard there, you need to have these just prerequisite skills. Your spray control has to be great. Your spray transfer has to be great. And he is displaying all of that. We got to see that. And I like his use of not as, frequented weapons. So he's got to see a little bit of the MP5. We've got to see a lot of the AUG also. So I like that he's using these kind of like off-meta weapons.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like we're seeing a little more of the AUG in play of late. And I like it kind of flexing into that pickup there as well. But still, it doesn't matter what you put in his hand. Those op shots also were sick at the end there. So just knowing that all I need to take is find the body, find the angle, able to get those kills consistently. We're seeing it there. But I have to say, one of the things that I think impresses me the most about his play is the fact that he doesn't put himself in bad positions. We talk about these angles, we talk about positioning. There was never a situation there where he was getting caught off guard. He was always being the aggressor in the situations, always saying, look, I'm putting myself in a spot, you come on in, you come to me, and I will take you down. He was never pushing out and taking unnecessary risks.
Yeah.
which is the hallmark of somebody with a 70% win rate.
70%.
1.2 KDA. Like that's
7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Every game he wins, essentially.
Pretty much. Like
That's nuts.
Those are some massive win streaks, and it's
Yeah.
the ability to play with your teammates as well. We can't undervalue that because keep in mind, you're playing. Yeah, you get to know the people that you're playing with over time, especially at that level. But you're still being, cobbled together with different teammates every single time. It's the ability to bring them together, to coordinate them. I feel like you have to have that in your arsenal to pull off that high of a win rate.
Honestly, it is about consistency. And here's the thing, though. He still played less than half the games of Swifty.
Yeah.
Swifty played 396.
Yeah.
While Slash played 196. Definitely less than half the games of Swifty.
Yeah.
But he was consistent throughout those, almost 200 games.
Yeah.
70% win rate. That is nuts.
So then 303 played for 6E, who was in our first place position there. The difference being the 60 to 70% win rates. It just goes to show that you don't necessarily, you still put in the grind, obviously, especially at the end, but you just need to win those games. Let's take a look at our next clip, our strategy highlight here. We can just slow things down a little bit. It's a bit of a smaller play here, but one of the things I love about it is the utilization of these angles of cover and making the best of a bad situation.
Yeah, so we got another overpass play here as he's on the T side trying to get the bomb down, but again, it's clearing out all these angles that are so difficult. He gets caught out by a person coming in, and he gets dropped down low. You can hear the exchange in damage, and he doesn't know what his opponent's health bar is like, but his opponent definitely knows that he is lit. He is dropped down low, almost to 1 HP. And so he tries to take the battle up against them, but he goes, into a pistol fight up against the guy who's got an M4 still. He's hoping to get this one shot, but it doesn't pay off for him.
No, he put a lot of money in that pistol basket there, and then we can see from this different angle here, he knows he just needs to get the one shot. He's got to go in there. He's got to find the angle, but he just can't make it happen. The spray comes on through, getting a sniper and the round for good measure there. And this was a key round, too. Look at the score line.
Yeah, it's 9-10 here. And so if they're able to continue this lead, I mean, the CT's just bought up. This is such a huge round. Getting rid of something like the op investment coming out from Zach, you can see he almost went glass cannon there. He was able to pick up armor himself, but this is going to break the back of the CT economy here.
Oh, yeah. Only 22 HP and a dream. He made it work there at the end, staying on the site, protecting the bomb, playing around the fact that he knew the CT had to push in right there, utilizing. Look at that! One more bullet had connected. That would have been it. The turn, the flick, the headshot, the connection right there. Really nice play.
And this just changes the pace of the entire game, right? This single round right here just shuts down the CTs, especially on a very crucial moment where you can almost just tie it up and then get that lead up against the T side.
Yeah, and this is the moment here where he's like, okay, put the sniper away, and I'm going to push on in, do this by hand. And this might have been the decision that cost them a lot here. He only needed to connect. So close.
100 HP to 22. He just needed one bullet to connect. Just the one. And that could have just been a difference maker for this round. That could have changed, his 69.9% win rate to a 69.7. Who knows?
And keep in mind that at the end there, this is truly the battle, truly the race for second place. It was fierce there towards the end.
Yeah.
So there's obviously the pressure of that one round in that one game. But it's more than that. It's the pressure of an entire season, 2 months of play, 200 games worth of work going into this. All these clips, of course, are taken from that final week of play where every single kill matters.
And Rank S is on the line. Rank S is on the line. And that's kind of the biggest pressure that I imagine, in his CSGO career, he's been placed under. And that's a pretty nutty thing. It's the holidays. Everyone's happy. Hey, I just got I don't know, a new Alexa or whatever.
Yeah.
Amazon Home, right?
There you go.
It's like I could be playing around with that, but instead, no, he's grinding away. Right, and he's putting himself in the forefront of CS:GO. He's laying it all out there, and it's so important because this is your path to just try to get your name known, try to make it up to Rank S, and get your name known out there for people to really start recognizing you.
Oh yeah, pulling 5.7 on average games a day in the holidays, that's not easy to do. You got commitments, juggling all that around. I imagine there were many late nights spent going on in making sure that they got those games out. Let's hop into our next clip right here. The full round from start to finish. And this one, a very interesting position right here, and a very, very interesting buy here coming in from the T's because they have a set strategy in mind that doesn't end up playing out for them, but I think Slash works for them here.
Yeah, so it's a scout buy along with the Deagles coming out from the T's side. And really what the T's want to do is just body somebody and then you can body them with the scout. But that already isn't working out well for them. They lost one on mid, CJB goes down, and that's not a great thing, right? You're investing into this round, you lose another man, and things look more and more dire. You need these Deagles to get any damage off, but finally someone trades away. But now, it's Slash coming in, connects with the headshot,
There you
finds
go.
a second one, and they've evened it out. They've evened it out from what was a 5v2.
It was a 5v2 situation, then a 2v2 now, and I love this decision to pull back. Oh, and finding the body shot there as well. I love this decision to reposition here in a second as well. He's found this angle. He's milked it for all it's worth. But now with the dub, we're going to see the double sniper in hand. They're going to reposition where maybe they can find a little bit more value.
Yeah, I mean, this went from a loss round to a winnable round at this point. Again, they lost 3 members in the first 30 seconds, and at that point, especially with a buy like the Scout Deagle buy, that is almost just the ender right there, but they're able to hold it down, and now it's a 2v1. They've got the plant position. Everything's working out great for them.
Yeah, they got the simultaneous sniper shots there on the opponent. His teammate does go down. This is a 1v1 situation, but it doesn't matter. When it counts, getting that clutch headshot off the Deagle right to the face, make it look easy.
Hey, the Scout was so drastically important for them. Remember, it was a 2v5 before they finally started trading away. He ends up getting 2 headshots, 2 kills, while his other teammate finds one himself with the Deagle. That ties it up 2-2. And the reason why he's able to get that Scout for his team is because, well, he's a consistent player. He's putting up the numbers. He's got the economy for it. And he's the reason why they're able to pull out a buy like that and pull out a strategy like that.
He's sitting back. He's playing passive, playing conservatively, just getting that lineup straight down into connectors. People just keep walking in, keep walking into the crosshairs, keeps finding those headshots. His level is perfect. That's exactly what you need to be doing in that situation, especially because at that point they lost somebody immediately. The strategy already was starting to crumble. It could have gone so very badly wrong. But they didn't sweat under pressure. They didn't fold. They just kept doing what they were doing, and he kept hitting headshots.
And again, like you had mentioned during that play, what I really liked, what you also really liked, was that he fell back. He got the bomb, he rotated out, and he just went over to B site, right? Because at that point, the CT still could have committed one person to A, one person to B, and then they could take a 2v1. Or they move over to B site, they have a lot less angles to really worry about because they're, well, at that point, they've got the op and the Scout. So they're going to play the long sight lines. It was really smart coming out from them.
Absolutely. They wanted to put themselves in a more advantageous position. They pushed in, made it a 2v1. And finally getting that last headshot there to seal the deal. Let's take a look at our last clip here. Another round and another example of stellar play.
Yeah. We had mentioned in that last round on Train that it was so drastically important that Slash had the economy to go for that Scout buy. As we take a look at this force-up coming out from the CT side, they're down 8-4. This is a crucial round because they don't want to end this half 11-4. It's Slash who has the economy to pick up that AUG and move over to mid, over to window, get that first initial kill onto Katie.
That's huge. I mean, that should have put his team in a pretty solid position, and it did. The team was actually able to capitalize on this really well. Again, they don't have a whole lot to work with here. Terrorists in a great spot now, 8-4. This is the round that could really break the CT counter pressure. This could be the round that puts them back in the ground. But this is where Slash goes off and helps his team turn it around, build some momentum back in this game.
Yeah, that's right. The other side of the coin is, of course, if they lose this round, their economy is in absolute shambles because they force up here. And that might just mean an 11-4 T-side half for his opponents. That's not the kind of deficit you want to go into, swapping sides.
There you go.
But again, it's that AUG coming in, and I love this final play.
Oh, this final play is so sassy. He gets the call out. And he finds it through the scaffolding. You don't see that every day. Super heads-up play there. Maybe he should be keeping his head down if he's the opponent in that situation.
Yeah, and we're seeing why. Like, once you are that kind of like star player, that anchor player for your team, you need to be able to convert on your money, right? He invests into the AUG, gets the initial frag at mid, slows down a lot of the pressure coming out from the T side, and is especially when 2 of his teammates are playing with the Deagle, slowing that down, giving them time to try and maybe get angle pickoffs. That's huge for the team. By the end of that round, 4 members survive. They're able to upgrade. They're able to pick up 2 AKs, and from there, the pace of the game completely changes, especially when you're trying to close out the half. Try to get an 8-7 there by the end of that half.
Oh yeah, I mean, you had a lot of teammates with their bank accounts at 0. They're punching the pin and no cash is coming out of the machine.
Trying to take a cash advance, your employer says no.
Not having it even a little. But that was the kind of play, that was the round that put them there. And it's getting that first initial kill, forcing the opponents to reset their strategy there. put his team in a great spot.
Yeah, I mean, there we get to see a tangible result, right? We get
Oh,
to
yeah.
see kind of like, while like headshot percentage and win shot percentage is a tangible thing. It's a thing. It's things like economy is a little bit more abstract, right?
Mhm.
Right there, giving an economy a huge boost for the CT side to try and finish out the half.
And it seems to be such a consistent idea.
Yeah.
We're gonna give the gun to Slash. We're gonna put him in a position to
He
succeed.
buys it himself, all right? He earned it, all right? Blood, sweat, tears, and fragging.
Yes.
He got that all by himself,
but
all right?
in the situation when he has the gun and his team is relying on him
Yeah.
to get the kills, he gets it done, and that's why he ends the season in second place and advances on to rank S. We have more amazing Counter-Strike action when we return. We're gonna hop onto a short break. We're gonna round out this season here in just a bit, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back to National Championship, the Ascent. I'm in Verum, that's Jamerson. We have crowned 2 Rank G champions. They've already advanced on to Rank S.
They grow up so fast.
I know.
It was just like yesterday, less than a month ago.
Yeah.
Now 60's leaving our nest, and
It's like last year they
yeah.
were in Rank G. If the show had been on the first, that would have been a bit of a punnier joke, but there it is. So yeah, the 2-month season goes by quick. The next season has already begun. They're
Yeah.
already up there, fragging it out in Rank S. But we do have all the stats.
Mhm.
Lovely provided by ESEA for that last season there in Rank G. We're going to take a look at them here because I think this is so important
Yeah.
to look at context, to look
the
at
honorable mentions also.
Oh, yes.
Because there were, our format show once a week. We don't get to cover everybody in Rank G, but these are the top 16 coming in from last season.
And we're seeing it there at the top of the leaderboards, of course. 60 and Slash and Swifty. Unfortunately for him, getting dethroned right at the end there. Almost 400 games played to his name. A lot of solid games across the board from a lot of these players, ranging in and around that 300 mark for a lot there in the top 10. But I mean, that just makes the 196 wins for Slash just that much more impactful.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's the consistency in it. When you have a almost 70% win rate, it does translate into your points so well. 69.9%. Well, head and shoulders above anybody else here in the top 16.
Oh yeah, and if you look towards the end, a lot of these players actually started to slip there, actually falling below that 50% rate. They started the season out strong, but as it progressed, they were not able to maintain the pace, and it's that consistency that really skyrocketed 60 and Slash above the rest there, not to mention some solid KDs respectively.
Oh yeah, definitely. But here amongst the top 16, it's going to be pretty consistent across the board. 1.1 kind of being the median there. We do have some outliers, 1.2 on Slash himself, the man of the hour, sneaking into that top 2 position.
Yeah, you still have to give it to 60 though, pulling that top ADR with an 87 over there. Really nicely done from him. I believe that is some of the top 2% of Rank G players there. So really, really solid there from him as well. And again, keeping that consistently across 300 games, that is not easy. That's something you have to think about too, because you have one bad game. It can throw all of your stats out the window.
Yeah.
So you have to just keep that up, keep the consistency
300
going
games, maybe 900 rounds. Who knows how many double OT situations you get into, but yeah.
Crazy. Craziness. So many rounds, you just have to keep playing it there. And of course, landing those headshots with fair consistency, not the absolute top there. Katie's still pulling that 59%. 59% of your kills from headshots. That is solid any day of the week. Again, this is definitely one of the reasons this is our honorable mentions.
Katie probably really likes the AK.
Yeah.
A lot.
Just right on just one tap.
Yeah.
I only need one bullet.
And another person we actually had on the show, I believe, Fang. He's there in the top 10. Unfortunately, not able to make it. But again, the season starts all over again. Your grind continues. You're already in a great spot. Top 10 for this season. You just got to keep on working to improve.
Oh yeah, and you have so many great resources available out there right now as well to help that. And one of the resources actually are these stats themselves. See how you stack up. See how you compare. And Katie, once again, 15.5% 2K percentage there. Really impressive. And we're seeing for these top players averaging between the 2K and the 3K. That is, and those are independent stats. Just FYI. So when you combine them together, you do get that total multi-kill percentage, which is really, really solid. So for someone like 60, almost 20% of your kills resulting in multi-kills. That is pretty darn impressive.
Yeah, 5.3% for 3Ks out of all your rounds. That's still actually very high.
That's the top.
Especially amongst the top 16. Yeah, that is the top.
There you go. One of the reasons he is in that #1 position, advancing on to Rank S.
The difference between, 5.0 and 5.3, that could be the difference maker, especially in a lot of these games where it does really come down to the wire. You're playing amongst your peers, but you are the top amongst them.
Oh, and of course, being top does give you quite a bit of attention. And I believe he actually had over 10,000 profile views on ESEA coming in #1 there for him. That is a lot of eyes on you there. If you're trying to go pro.
Maker.
That is 10,000 people reviewing. So I guess more than 10,000 eyes. That's like 20,000 eyes.
Yeah,
Check
remember,
out your page.
the last season?
Generalizing.
The last season, it ended December 31st.
Yep.
And then he gets promoted on up. He's in Rank S, and now he's playing against different caliber of players, different players that have a different amount, maybe a higher amount of clout. Maybe a little bit higher.
Just a little bit. Maybe just some top players, some top pros. And again, those are who you want to be playing with, learning from, because the journey doesn't stop here, and especially for these players, because we've talked to them. We know what their goals are. Their goals are to truly go pro, to make it onto a pro team, to play in these massive events, to go play in front of these massive stadiums. That's the dream.
It's a huge change, right? Even if you're in kind of maybe tier 2 teams, that means your salary. That means you're making 2-3K a month
Oh, yeah.
just to continue to play and practice here. You know, that allows you to kind of forego maybe having a first or second job, try to commit more time to it. And that's really the dream for a lot of these players. They just want to play the game because they love it, and they want to just be able to do that for however many years it'll allow.
Exactly, as many years as you
Yeah.
can, and not so with payouts every single day, with the ability to play on a salaried pro team, you know, down the pipe potentially in the future there.
Possibly a stream career.
There you
I mean,
go.
A lot of things can happen out of this. I mean, the exposure alone is nuts because, you know, maybe you're not able to stream all the time, or you didn't stream all your rank G games, but now almost all of your rank S games are going to be streamed.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be taking an eye, you know, keeping an eye on that for sure, and especially if you want to grow, you know, as a player, as a streamer, you want to, you know, get eyes on you. As I said, 10,000 profile views just there at the end.
Yeah.
When you got that first place
Wait,
spot.
in a week.
In a week.
In a week.
In a week. Quite a bit right there. So that is going to be our very first season of the Ascent. We have crowned our 2 champions.
So proud.
So proud.
So proud.
Oh, I just said they grow up so fast. There will be some amazing Season 2 action coming at your faces at some point in the next little while. Be sure to hit the follow button if you haven't on whatever respective channel that you are watching it on to keep up to date with all the amazing Counter-Strike action that you're currently viewing. And of course, keep an eye out for Season 2 of the Ascent. Season 2. I'm Inverum. That's Jamerson. From everyone here, thank you so much. We'll see you next time.